Thank you so much for joining us tonight on NBC5 News at 11. I'm Christine Pitawanich. Tonight, they have a man behind bars who they believe set fire to this building. Now, I just want you to take a look up there very quickly. That is where a 2-year-old child clung to the ledge, dangling above the ground. The Goff fire continues to burn, and standing here, I can tell you it is very smoky. In fact, as you can hear, there is a helicopter going right above me, and as of right now, many residents have already left their homes. A lot of people already here at the Ashland Armory, where the Jackson County Democrats are holding their Blue Bash fundraiser. You got 26% of the vote. That was back in 2010. What have you done differently this time around? Say the votes do not return favorably, will you be running again? That's sheer number of cars every day. And officials say all the traffic contributes to a high number of accidents. As you can also see, I'm wearing a safety vest. That's because while we've been here, we've seen many cars rounding this curve very fast. Of course, we don't want to get hit. And officials say drivers need to be prepared with an emergency kit and chains. Nearly 4 hours later, after the fire has started, fire crews, they're still on scene. They say they've been hard at work. As you can see right behind me, Trader Joe's, that sign already up. And if you come with me here to the left, you can actually see the entire arsenal of plows really ready to go at a moment's notice. Frigid temperatures and blowing snow made for a race against the clock for search and rescue crews looking for a missing skier on Mount Ashland. But nearly 20 hours later, she was found and reunited with her family.
Copy. Subject has been located.
It was the moment friends and family of a missing skier collectively breathed a sigh of relief. How did you feel when you heard on the radio that she had been found?
Pretty magical moment, I guess you could say. To know, wow.
52-year-old Carol Kuhn was reunited with her loved ones after being lost around the Mount Ashland area for almost 20 hours.
But the weather last night was so bad. I mean, it was practically blizzarding out there, and we just knew we couldn't go out there, but it's a helplessness.
Blustering wind and snow Sunday night made it difficult for search crews to locate Kuhn, who was reported missing around 5 Sunday evening.
The weather just seemed like it kept getting worse and worse throughout the night. It wouldn't let up.
But officials knew she was alive.
She made a call at about between 10 and 11 to her husband, and so we knew she was alive.
That call made Monday morning after sheriff's deputies say her phone had died and she could not call 911.
Had a prayer chain going.
And family members say they had faith Carol could survive the elements.
She hikes in and out of the woods daily at like 6 miles. So we knew if anybody could do this, she would be the one to do it. It's a blessing.
Officials say Carol Kuhn spent the night huddled in a dry spot near a horse corral and a large cedar tree. Then rescuers in a helicopter spotted her about 8 miles away from the ski area on the south side of the mountain.
God was there. God was with her.
Now, sheriff's officials say Kuhn held up well in the cold due to her ski clothes that she was wearing. Now, they say if you ever get lost in the mountains, the key is to stay where you are so rescue crews can find you. It was a moment of terror around 10 o'clock Sunday morning.
I heard a scream, and I looked around, and I saw this little boy wearing a red striped shirt.
Hanging roughly 25 feet up off the ledge of the old bread building across from Alba Park in Medford.
I dropped everything and I ran as fast as I could in my flip-flops. I was terrified.
As a good Samaritan and as a mother with her own 2-year-old.
It was just instinct, like I'm gonna catch this kid. I stood under him like this, just like this, and I was waiting for him to fall. And I said, "It's okay, baby, I'll catch you if you fall." And he was crying, tears running down his face.
And just minutes later, he let go, falling roughly 25 feet straight into her arms.
And I caught him and I fell. And then I just ran over there and sat down and looked him over.
Police arrested and charged the 2-year-old's mother, 22-year-old Amelia Smith, with 2 counts of child neglect, among others. Police say they believe she was sleeping when it happened.
I was at the right place at the right time.
Neighbors and family breathing a sigh of relief, calling Beach their own hero. This is the letter where a Medford police officer tells the man we spoke with that he's, quote, forbidden from having contact with city officials. We wondered, can they do that? Josh Brewer's trouble started when he was charged with a drug crime, a crime he later beat in the state of appeals court. But while he was in the middle of trying to prove his innocence, he contacted his elected officials for help. The response he got from a Medford police officer shocked him.
Ben Lytle sent me threatening letters telling me if I contacted any other city of Medford, anybody pretty much about this case besides him, then he's going to put me back in jail for more charges.
Josh Brewer has since been cleared of all convictions stemming from his felony charges back in 2009 for having too much medical marijuana. The Oregon Court of Appeals decided he was wrongfully convicted. But after he was first arrested in 2009, he says he tried to tell city officials that police had made a mistake.
I tried contacting the mayor, Mayor Wheeler. He hung the phone up on me. He didn't want nothing to do with it.
So he kept trying to get a hold of someone, anyone here at City Hall who would listen.
I continued on. I called the governor of Oregon. I called everybody.
But soon he got this letter in the mail.
From this point forward, you are forbidden from having contact either in person or by telephone with any department of the city of Medford regarding this matter. You should be advised that failure to comply with these instructions could result in your arrest and additional criminal charges being filed against you.
But can police really tell you not to contact city officials about grievances?
A police officer cannot forbid somebody to contact somebody else. The city manager can trespass somebody from City Hall and cannot contact the officials while they're at City Hall.
And in addition, can police threaten criminal charges and arrest someone for trying to get in contact with their city officials?
They can only be arrested if there's a crime.
But Brewer and his supporters claim no crime was committed.
Mr. Brewer, he indicated all he had done is made a simple call and said he wanted to talk to the mayor about the fact that the police had made a mistake and that there seemed to be an injustice going on. Under the Oregon law, that's not harassment.
He says it would have been harassment if the calls were continuous and if Brewer was told to stop.
That didn't happen here.
Lieutenant Mike Boudreau with the Medford Police says letters like this don't get sent out often.
Probably less than a dozen times over the last 10 years, but it has happened.
Even so, one city councilor we spoke with says elected officials need to be available.
People have a right to contact their elected officials and to contact the city officials. They work for the people, they work for the citizens. If there's a problem, we want people to come talk to us.
Meantime, Brewer and this letter say otherwise. And now, he and his attorney have filed a lawsuit against the city of Medford, Medford Police Department, the mayor, and a slew of police officers, alleging they conspired, acted intentionally or with reckless disregard when it came to his rights, and went on false information to convict him. He says if only the mayor or someone had listened to his concerns in the beginning,
this wouldn't have happened, and if it did happen, he would have put all them officers on suspension, figured everything out himself, and then we would have been done with it.
So even though his conviction was reversed and he is deemed an innocent man, he says the hurt continues.
Enough is enough.
Josh Brewer's conviction was reversed. The case is closed and can't be reopened. Meantime, Lieutenant Boudreau at the Medford Police Department could not speak to Brewer's case specifically because of the lawsuit. He did, however, say letters similar to the one sent to Brewer are typically worded differently. In the studio, Pitawanich, NBC5 News. People are asking questions about the accessibility of guns, wondering, is it too easy for some people to legally stock up? Now, Kyle, are crews still out there, and is the pilot okay tonight? And tonight, crews are still on scene mopping up a grass fire in Eagle Point. We go live to Kyle Averman, who is at the scene right now. Kyle, what can you tell us? And it's an extra special Mother's Day for one Florida family. Tonight, the 2013 winner was announced. So, drum roll, please. So long as you're prepared with a bit of sunscreen, a lot of sunscreen and a lot of water, you'll be good. Coming up on NBC5 News, what can you do with duct tape? Or maybe the question is, what can't you do? Either way, we're taking you to a duct tape celebration that you really don't want to miss. We'll also have another look at your weather, of course. And remember, you can stay with us 24 hours a day on our website, KOBI5.com. We'll see you right back here in just a couple minutes. Life for Dean Bish took a dramatic turn in October of 2011.
I haven't walked since the middle of October.
She suffers from a rare disease called multiple systems atrophy, or MSA.
My muscles contract and make my feet curl. I have a lot of tension and rigidity in my body, and my breathing is often very difficult.
Painful muscle spasms and tremors plague her every day.
It's a bit disconcerting to be told you have an incurable disease.
But every week, she looks forward to a visit from James Excel. Playing his harp while promoting healing.
It affects the brain, it affects the heart, it affects the metabolism. It affects a lot of deep structures within the brain, in fact, way below conscious level, that in terms of healing.
He is a certified music thanatologist, someone who plays harp music and sings for the sick and dying. On this particular day, we found him playing for Dean, who is a hospice patient, at her home. He says he practices what's called prescriptive music, where he alters his rhythm based on each individual patient.
I get all of my cues from the patient, seeing, checking the vitals, the breathing, pulse, things like that, and trying to reflect that in music.
Dr. Somnath Ghosh is an intensivist at Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. He says he's seen for himself the benefits of music thanatology.
It's almost as if it relieves pain without additional medications. It is an intervention with zero risks and only potential benefits. It's just another modality in my arsenal to help these patients.
And helping people is precisely why James Excel does what he does.
This is a calling.
A life's calling for Excel, who was a cancer survivor as well as a heart attack and stroke victim himself.
I couldn't speak English for a while, but I could sing in Latin and Hebrew and Gaelic. Being able to play for people and it was part of my own healing process.
With the pull of a harp string and deep melodic chants, Dean is able to get the relief she so desperately needs.
Pain goes away, tremors die down, tension is less, my breathing evens out. It's the best hour of the week.
She says that 1 hour is truly the only time she's pain-free, and by the time her session with Excel was over, her body was still, and her tremors gone.